When I first heard Alanis Morissette sing "Reasons I Drink", I remember what a wonderful Methodist minister once shared with a group of us at a youth camp many years ago. He drew 3 circles on a sheet of butcher's paper and then told us what he wanted to muse about with us, what he'd been thinking about lately. He started off by suggesting this question: how do people usually start a conversation when they first meet? Most times, he said, people are first interested in what you do, or a question like that. It gives quite a bit of information about the other person to build a conversation. Then he drew an arrow to the second circle. What I need depends on what I do. If I'm at school or university, for instance, choosing which subjects to take is really important if I want to end up doing what it is I eventually want to do. I once heard a mother justifying her son's purchase of a very flashy sports car as being essential to his job, what he did. He is a graphic designer, she said, and he needs to show how successful he is if he is to be the success in his business. It seems to me, our youth camper speaker went on, that this accepted way of thinking leads us to think of ourselves, our identity, the who I am, as being mainly dependent on what I do and what we have to show for it. What I do and what I have to do it determines, to a large extent, who I think I am. But what happens if there is a break in that chain? What if our worker is involved in an accident and cannot do what he or she used to be able to do anymore? We in the caring professions know that the sense of self of the injured one is shattered. Many initially think that it would have been better if they were dead. I want to suggest that this line of thinking, and particularly its direction from what I do to what I need to who I am, is problematic. And I want to suggest that the arrows need to be reversed. That we need to first come to terms with who we think we are. All else is an expression of that. That is more or less where we left that conversation that morning at youth camp. It was a simplistic model to get us thinking, as I think all models are and can only be. Alanis Morissette's "Reasons I Drink" got me thinking about this model I had picked up so long ago. Like many performing musicians, she drinks. The loneliness of hotels night after night on tour, the after parties, it seems to be such a normal part of the scene. Then comes the stage where she needs to drink, maybe to be sociable at first, but gradually becoming obsessive. I need to drink. And finally, the realization that she is hooked. In her head, who am I? I'm an alcoholic. I only seem to be able to go in this direction. I need to drink. I'm hooked. In the middle of all this, Alanis appears to begin to reverse the arrow from who I am to what I need. She thinks she will feel better for getting a swish new top-of-the-range sports car. That's what she needs, or she thinks she needs, and she can afford it. It's what many of us do, shopping therapy. So looking good in a new car isn't really an expression of the person she is. Rather, it just reinforces the star image she knows she's not and brings on more selfies, autographs, and dishonest magazine beat-ups. So let's put the three into an interacting triangle. It's an internal triangle, inasmuch it is part of a process playing out in one's thoughts, feelings, and expectations. So the thought triangle goes clockwise from who she thinks she is to relieve her pain. And presumably, we on the outside looking in can see that this is not sustainable and unlikely to relieve the pain of her suffering she has been experiencing. What way is forward for her? I'm going to suggest that Alanis needs an external input to break into this circle of disempowerment that stems from now who she thinks she is. An external input to begin to modify how she thinks about herself, who she thinks she is. The aim of this external intervention is to bring greater self-love to the other, sometimes signified by positive realizations that they have greater capacity for self-empowerment than they thought. And then to direct this increasing cognizance outward to others, to be the wounded healer, offering to others, to the extent they are able, the same validation and love that was offered to them. The original, external other continues as mentor, and the grassroots chain of human validation and love continues to expand.